Hi, this is Rachel from Hello Boar Crochet. Today I'm going to show you how to make the hot cocoa bralette in this super bulky weight yarn. The written pattern for this bralette is in my Etsy shop, which I will link to in the description box below. So if you would like to have specific instructions on how to make all of the different sizes, go ahead and visit my shop, purchase that and download it before you play through this tutorial so that you can follow along with all of the different instructions for your own particular size. And this tutorial will walk you through the size extra small. For this tutorial, you will need some size 6 or super bulky weight yarn. I used about 1.5 skeins of Wool Ease Thick and Quick. You will need 2 buttons. Mine are 20 millimeters wide. This is going to be for the straps at the back. So it's how we will be making the straps adjustable. For the buttons, you are going to want some thread and a needle. Then you will want some scissors, a tapestry needle, and of course your crochet hook. And for this particular project, I am using the 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. Right? So this is several millimeters smaller than the hook suggested for this yarn on the wrapper. And the reason for that is that since we are making a bralette, we really want our stitches to be nice and tight. We don't want a lot of space between them so that it's not going to be see-through when we wear it. So once you have all your materials together, we are ready to start. Alright, so I have opened up the top so that I can show you the way we are going to construct it. Alright, so this pattern is actually worked side to side. So what you're seeing here is actually going to be made this way. Okay. So we will begin the construction process by creating our holes for the corset back, switching to the Suzette Stitch to finish off that first half of the back. Then we are going to switch to the lemon peel stitch portion for the front. And you can see here how we have this curve going out. We will be making increases up here at the top to achieve the curve. We will then be making some decreases in here to get to the middle. Again, make our increases to get to the top of the other side. Finish off our decreases to get back to the back portion of the bralette. And finally, we will switch back to our Suzette stitch to complete the back, do our little corset holes. Right. And that will be the main body. Then we are going to turn our work, create our single crochet edging all along it, and then create our straps. So that is the process we will be following. All right, we will begin by making a slip knot. Okay. Insert your hook and tighten slightly. All right, now chain 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Okay. Now for this next row, it looks nicest at the end if you crochet into this back bump or hump of your chain. So you can see that here is the front. You have this V, and if you turn your work to the side, you can see you have this little bump on the back. So that is where we will be crocheting into. So skip your very first chain and into that second chain, go ahead and create 1 single crochet. Okay. Now chain 1, skip your next chain, and into the next chain create another single crochet. All right, so that is going to create our hole, right, that we are going to be using for our corset back. Right? into the next chain, go ahead and make one more single crochet. Chain one, skip the next chain, and into the next chain, make one single crochet, and again into the next chain, make another single crochet. Right, so chain one, skip, 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, chain one, skip, 2 single crochet, 1, 2, and now you can see that we should have 2 chains left, right? So chain one, skip that first one, and into your final chain, create your final single crochet. Okay. Now for the second row, chain one, turn. We are just going to be making single crochets all the way across. So into your first single crochet, make your single crochet. Now into this chain one space, you're going to be making a single crochet. So single crochet into the next 2 single crochet. Try that again. Okay. And into that hole, make your next single crochet. And just keep doing this all the way across. And into that last single crochet, make your single crochet. Okay, so you should have something that looks like this. All right. Now chain one and turn. Now we are going to be making the Suzette Stitch, which will make up the rest of the back of the bralette. So the very first Suzette stitch, we will be skipping this first stitch and into this second stitch. Go ahead and create a single crochet and a double crochet. Okay. Now for the next few Suzette stitches, we are going to be going into the back loop only of the stitch. This will create extra stretch for when you're wearing your bralette. So skip that next stitch into the back loop of the next one. Make your single crochet and your double crochet. Okay, so skip the next one into that back loop only. Make your single crochet and your double crochet. And one more time, skip into that back loop, single crochet, and double crochet. Okay. Now into the remaining 7 single crochet, we will be creating our ribbing that will make up that bottom of the bralette. Okay, so into the back loop only, we'll be making single crochet. So insert your hook into that back loop, single crochet into the back loop, make your single crochet, and keep doing this into that back loop until you have reached the end of your row. Okay. Okay. So you can actually already see that definition for the ribbing appearing. All right. Chain one and turn. And we will be doing the ribbing to begin. So into the first 7 single crochet to the back loops only, create your single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. now we will be continuing the Suzette stitch. Okay, so skip that first stitch into the second stitch into that back loop only. Create your single crochet, and now your double crochet. Okay, skip the next stitch into that back loop. Create your single crochet and your double crochet. One more time, skip the next stitch into that back loop. Make your single and your double. And now for our very final Suzette stitch, we will be going through both of the loops. Okay, so make your single crochet and then your double crochet. I like to make that final Suzette stitch into both loops because it creates a cleaner top edge. Okay. All right, this is our pattern for the next 2, 4, 6 rows. We will be doing the Suzette stitch and then the ribbing. So I will make another 2 rows with you. So go ahead and chain 1, turn your work, skip that very first stitch into both loops of the next stitch, make your single crochet and your double crochet. Skip the next stitch into that back loop only, single and double, skip into the back loop, single and double, skip into the back loop, single and double. We are now ready for our ribbing. So into the back loops of the next 7 single crochets, we will create single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, you can see this cute little bumpy look appearing. Right. So chain 1 and turn. And again, into the back loops only of the first 7 single crochet, make your 7 single crochet. So into that back loop, single crochet, into the back loop, single crochet. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, now switching to the Suzette stitch. Skip that first stitch into the back loop only of the next stitch, make your single and your double. Skip into the back loop only, make another single and double. Skip, back loop only, make a single and a double. And then for our very final Suzette stitch into both loops, so skip your stitch and then into the both loops of that top one, make your final single and double. All right, so for the size small, which is what we are making, go ahead and repeat those last 2 rows. Let's see how to say this. We're going to be making 4 more rows of that Suzette stitch. So from the appearance, you can see here that you have like a nice big bump and then another nice big bump. So we'll be making 2 more large bumps. Okay, so you can see I've completed my 8 total rows of the Suzette stitch, which is 4 of these large bumpy rows. So, okay. So we will now be switching to the lemon peel stitch. Okay. So we will begin by chaining 1 and turning our work. Now we will not be skipping any stitches anymore. So into the very first stitch here, into both loops, make your first single crochet. Okay. Now into the very next stitch right here, we will be making a double crochet. Okay. Into the very next stitch, make a single crochet, and into the very next stitch, make your double crochet. Okay. So single crochet, double crochet, and then one more time, single crochet and double crochet. Okay. Now we will be making the ribbing just the same as we have been doing it this whole time. So into those back loops only, go ahead and create your 7 single crochet. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. And go ahead and chain 1, turn your work. And again, make your 7 single crochets into those back loops only for your ribbing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. Now we are going to be making our lemon peel stitch. So into the very first stitch here, make your single crochet, and into the very next stitch, make your double crochet, and continue that alternating your single and your double all the way across. So single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, and then single crochet, and your final double crochet. Okay. Okay, so now we will be creating an increase here, which will be the top of our bralette. And that will be creating that increase that will go up to that top point where our strap is going to go before that downward V for that cup portion. Okay, so chain 1, turn your work, and into this very first stitch, create 1 double crochet. Okay, now into that exact same stitch, create your single crochet. And that is our increase. Okay. So into that next stitch now we will create our double. And then we will be alternating our single crochets and our double crochets as normal for our lemon peel stitch until we get to the ribbing. All right, so single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double, single, and double. All right, go ahead and create your 7 single crochets into the back loops only, going both down, turning, and then coming back up, and I will meet you back at the lemon peel stitch portion. All right, we will begin as we normally do with the lemon peel stitch portion. So start with that single crochet and then your double crochet. And then keep alternating until you have 1 stitch remaining. So double. here is my final stitch. Into this last stitch, go ahead and place a single crochet. Make sure you go through both of those loops. It's a little bit difficult here at the end. Right. And then into that exact same stitch, go ahead and place your double crochet as well. Double crochet. All right, and there is our second increase. Go ahead and make 2 more total increase rows. So I will start off with you. Chain 1, turn your work. Into this very first stitch, make a double crochet and a single crochet. Okay, to the next stitch, make that double crochet. So go ahead and continue your lemon peel stitch pattern, single double down. Make your 7 single crochet back loop only, ribbing, turn, do your ribbing, alternate your lemon peel stitch starting with a single crochet, then your double crochet, until you have that 1 stitch remaining, and I will meet you back there to show you one more time how to do that increase. Alright, so I have 1 stitch remaining, and I just completed a double crochet. Alright, so into this very final stitch, you will begin with your single crochet, single, okay, and then into that exact same stitch, place a double crochet. Okay. And that is your final increase for this section. So you can see the increase you've made. Okay. And now we are going to be doing 2 total rows of no increases or decreases. Then that's going to be where our strap is going to end up. Okay. I'm literally on my floor for this, so it's a little difficult, but it's actually the best place I had for the video. Okay. So chain 1 and turn your work. And now, because we are just doing our lemon peel stitch without any increasing or decreasing, we will begin with our single crochet. Okay. And then our double crochet. All right. Single crochet, double crochet. Okay. Go ahead and finish that row like we have been, finishing off the lemon peel stitch, your ribbing, turn, ribbing, and your lemon peel stitch. And I will meet you back with 2 stitches remaining, just so that you can be sure you are finishing this row correctly. Okay, so I have my 2 stitches remaining. I just completed a double crochet. So finish it off, do 1 single crochet, and then into that final stitch, 1 double crochet. Let's see if my camera will focus a little better. Okay, and you can see that we now have this little flat section, and that's going to be the very top of the V, which means that we are now ready to create our decrease portion to go to the middle of your bralette. Okay. So chain 1 and turn. And into the first 2 stitches, we will be creating our first decrease. Okay. So into your very first stitch, go ahead and start your single crochet. So insert your hook and pull up your loop. Now into the second stitch, go ahead and begin that double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook into that second stitch, and pull up your loop. Now we will be pulling through 2 loops, which is the first half of our double crochet, and then to complete our decrease stitch, we'll go ahead and yarn over and pull through all 3 remaining loops. All right, so we have essentially made these 2 stitches one final stitch. Right here is the top of it. Then for the rest of the row, you will be doing your lemon peel stitch as normal. So that was our double crochet. Go ahead and do your single crochet and your double crochet. Oop, I think I split my yarn. There we go. Yeah. All right, and again, finish off that row with your lemon peel stitch, ribbing, turn, ribbing, lemon peel stitch, and go ahead and stop when you have 4 stitches remaining. I will meet you back there to show you how to continue doing the decreases. Okay, so here I am with 4 stitches remaining. So I just finished a single crochet in my lemon peel stitch pattern. So into the next stitch, create a double crochet. Right. And into the next one, a single crochet. Okay, so we have 2 stitches remaining, and into these 2 stitches we will be creating another decrease. All right, now this time the decrease is going to start with that double crochet. So yarn over, go ahead and insert your hook into that next stitch, pull up a loop, and then we will be completing the first half of your double crochet. So yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Now into your last stitch, go ahead and insert your hook and pull up your loop for your single crochet. And to create our decrease, we will go ahead and yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so there's our 2 stitches turned into one final stitch. All right, and we are just going to be continuing to decrease for a little while. So, all right, so go ahead and chain 1, turn your work, and this first decrease is the same as the decrease we did at the very beginning. So we start by inserting our hook into that first stitch, pulling up a loop, yarn over into that second stitch, insert your hook, pull up your loop, right? Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So that's our single and our double turned into a single stitch. Now we will continue our lemon peel stitch pattern. Our single crochet, I split the yarn again. All right, single crochet and our double crochet. Okay, and again, go ahead and just complete as we happen, and I'll meet you back when we have 4 stitches left. All right, 4 stitches left. Just finished my single crochet. So I'll continue with a double crochet, then a single crochet, and now again we are creating our decrease. So begin with half of a double crochet, so do your yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then your single crochet. So insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay. Chain 1 and turn. And we are doing another decrease. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 3. Then single crochet, double crochet, finish up until you get back to the top again, and I will meet you there. All right, now that last row we did together at the start where we made that decrease, that is actually our last decrease row for this portion. Okay, so we are going to be finishing this row. This is going to be 1/2 of our middle portion, okay? And we are not going to be doing any decreasing. So I just finished my single crochet in my lemon peel stitch pattern. So I will do a double crochet, single crochet, and a double crochet. Okay, and into that final stitch, a single crochet. All right, okay. Now we are ready to do basically the exact mirror of what we just created to finish the other half of our bralette. So our very first row of this second half will not have any increasing or decreasing. Okay, so we chain 1, turn our work, and into that very first stitch create your double crochet, only through 2. Okay, and then your single crochet, and again go ahead and complete that. I will meet you back with a few stitches left. Okay, I have 3 stitches remaining of that top lemon peel stitch portion. So I just completed a double crochet. Now I will make a single crochet, a double crochet, okay. And I have 1 stitch left, and we are now going to be making increases so that we can do the V that goes up to the strap on the other side. Okay, so into that stitch we will create first 1 single crochet, and now into that exact same stitch we will create our double crochet, making our increase. Chain 1, turn. We are making an increase again. So into that first stitch, place a double crochet and a single crochet. All right, keep doing your lemon peel stitch like normal. Okay, and again, I will meet you at the top to guide you through the increases. All right, I have my 2 stitches remaining, 1 and 2, and I just finished a single crochet. Into the next stitch, make your double crochet, and then into the very final stitch, place your increase. So single crochet, and into the same stitch, double crochet. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, so you can see the shape basically of the first half is pretty clear now. Here is the corset part. This will be the back. Here is our first half of the front, and we are doing our increases to mirror that for that second half. All right, we will be making another increase row. So chain 1, turn your work. All right, into the very first stitch, make a double crochet. And into that same stitch, place your single crochet. Okay, and then go ahead and finish off this row and most of the next one. I'll meet you there again. I have 2 stitches remaining. I just completed a single crochet. Place a double crochet into the next stitch, And then this will be our final increase row. So into this very final stitch, place your single crochet, and into that same stitch, your double crochet. Okay. So now go ahead and do another row down and row up, following the pattern without any increasing or decreasing, and then I will meet you at the end of those rows. Alright, I have finished those 2 rows without any increasing or decreasing. And that is where our second strap is going to end up. Okay. Okay. So we are now ready to finish off this with our last few rows of decreasing before we complete the back. Alright. So chain 1 and turn. And create your first decrease. So into the first stitch, create the beginning of your single crochet, and into the second stitch, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and complete by pulling through all 3 loops. Right? Now single crochet, double crochet, okay, and again, like normal, I will meet you back when I have a few stitches remaining up here. Right, I have 2 stitches remaining in my lemon peel stitch portion. Right, I just finished my single crochet. So to make our next decrease, go ahead and yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and Julia. Okay, and then insert your hook into that very final stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. My cat really wants some attention right now. Okay. We have another 2 rows of decreasing to make, so I will start that with you. Alright, so chain 1 and turn your work. Okay, and into the very first loop, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook into that second stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Right, and just continue that lemon peel stitch portion all the way down. Right, do your ribbing, turn, ribbing, come back up, and I will show you one more time that very final decrease up at the top. Right. I am back at the top of my final decrease row. I just completed my single crochet. So to make your very final decrease, go ahead and yarn over, insert your hook into the loop, yarn over and pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, insert your hook into that very final stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, now yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. All right, that is our final decrease row. So now we will be making 2 final rows of the lemon peel stitch portion without any increasing or decreasing. So I will start with you, and then, yeah. So go ahead and chain 1, turn your work. Okay. In that very first stitch, make your single crochet. Into the next stitch, make your double crochet. Go ahead and complete that row, turn, and finish off all the way at the top. I finished my final 2 rows of the lemon peel stitch portion without any increasing or decreasing. So you should now have something that looks a lot like this. Okay. So what we have left to make is the other side of the back. So we'll be doing our Suzette stitch again and ending up with our holes for our corset back. Okay. So to begin the remaining portion with the Suzette stitch, go ahead and chain one, turn your work. All right, and now we are skipping that very first stitch into the second stitch, create a single crochet, and into that same stitch a double crochet. Right. Now skip the next stitch and into the back loop only of the next one, create your single crochet and your double crochet. Again, skip a stitch, back loop only, single crochet, double crochet. Okay. And then we have one more to go. So skip this next stitch, back loop only of the next stitch, create your single crochet and your double crochet. Right. Now we're back to that ribbing portion. So back loop only, single crochets for those final stitches. Just create that all the way down. Right. Final stitch. Okay. Chain one, turn your work. Again, finish off that ribbing at the beginning. Going into that back loop only, create your single crochet, continue to do those for 7 stitches, so it's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, now skip that next stitch into that back loop only of the next one, create both your single crochet and your double crochet. Okay. Skip the next stitch into the back loop only of the next stitch, create that single and that double. Oh, nope, that was a half double. There we go. Right, skip the next stitch into the back loop only of the next one, create your single crochet and your double crochet. And then remember that into that very final Suzette stitch, we will not be doing the back loop only, we will be going through both loops. So skip a stitch, and into that final stitch, going through both of the loops, create your single crochet and your double crochet. There's our cute little bumpy texture. So we need to make another 2, 4, 6 rows of the Suzette stitch so that it will match the beginning portion over here. And I will meet you back when I have completed that to show you how to do the final corset back portion. Here is the hot cocoa bralette almost completed. Well, the body portion is almost completed. So here are the 8 total rows of the Suzette stitch that we just finished. So it's 4 of the large looking bumpy rows, but 8 rows total. And now I will show you how to finish off the body by creating this corset back portion on the last side. And we are almost finished. Go ahead and chain 1, turn your work, and for the first row we are just going to be placing a single crochet, a regular single crochet, into every single stitch. So when you get down to these, the ribbing portion, instead of going into the back loop only, you will actually be going through both of the loops, just creating a regular single crochet. And then when you've completed that, I will meet you back on this side to show you how to make the final holes. Right, I just finished my regular single crochets all the way down. Now go ahead and chain one, turn your work into the very first stitch, create your regular single crochet. Chain one, skip the next stitch, into the next stitch, make your single crochet, and then again into the next stitch, single crochet, chain one, skip the next stitch, and then into the next 2 stitches, make your regular single crochets. Right. Chain one, skip 2 single crochets, you can see I'm just about at the end of 1 full skein of my yarn. All right, so where am I? 2 single crochet. So chain one, skip the next stitch, and into the next 2 stitches, make your single crochets. Right, should have 2 final stitches remaining. So chain one, skip the next stitch, and into that very final stitch, make your last single crochet. And so there are our holes that we will use for the other side of our corset back. Right. Here is our main body of our hot cocoa bralette all finished up. So all that we have left to do is we're gonna go across this top, which is actually, you know, it was the edge of our stitches as we worked up that way. So to make a nice clean edge finish, we will be single crocheting all the way across to over here. If you want to wear this strapless, you can actually really just finish it now and skip to the chain section to create the tie for the back, but I will be showing how to add straps to mine. Okay. All right, so here we are at the end again of where we made those holes. So in order to turn our work so that we can create our single crochets across the top, we'll be chaining one, turning the entire piece sideways like this, and then into this edge I'll be placing my single crochet. So my very first one I'll be making right in here. Okay. And then my next one will be going in through this hole. My next one I'll place right in here. My next one right in here. Okay. So you will be just doing that all the way across until you reach the other side. So I will meet you back when I have done my single crochets all the way until almost the very, very end. And then just one note about doing this, you can really insert your hook anywhere you want across this edge to make your single crochet. This is a time where you can make a choice about how tight you would like this little edging to be. So if you place more single crochet into each area, you will end up with a much looser edge. If you want it to be pulled a little bit tighter, which is my preference for the front, I like to have this edging pull in a bit to create some tension there. That way there's no gapping when I wear it. Then you will want to be placing fewer single crochet into each area. So I will kind of end up going into like here, 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 you know, here. Basically really kind of stretching that single crochet out across the whole thing. Try to make sure that you have an equal number between the 2 points so that you maintain your symmetry right? And of course, if you don't like it, you can always take it out and fix it back up. All right, I'll meet you back here. I have finished my single crochet edging. Right. And I am at a place where I have room for one more. I'm going to be placing right here. So here's my final full single crochet. And then to finish off this little edge, you can see this little bump, I like to make a slip stitch into that very first chain that we have on this edge. So I will insert my hook right there and create my slip stitch. Okay. So you can see that just kind of rounds that edge out, and I think it makes it look a little bit nicer in the end. Right. Now for this next part, right, we are going to be making the adjustable straps. For me, I am actually going to cut and tie my yarn over here and reattach the yarn to this side of the top so that the front side of the bralette is facing me as I make the next round or the next row of my single crochets up to make my straps and then down. So the downside to doing it that way is that you will end up with an extra two ends to weave in, right? The one over here from cutting the yarn and then the one over here from attaching the yarn. So depending on just how much you personally loathe weaving your ends in, you may end up wanting to just keep this attached, chaining one, turning your work, and doing this final bit that I'm about to show you with the back side of the bralette facing you. Yes, I am not going to be doing it that way because I find the look of the double single crochet at the top to be just enough prettier when they are both created with this facing you, for it to be worth it for me to do those two extra ends of weaving. But yeah, that is up to you. Just know that you have that option. I'm going to go ahead and cut and tie my yarn. All right, I have cut and tied my yarn, so here I am with my new yarn. This is the way I like to attach it most of the time. So I just create a slip stitch, insert my hook into that, and then find the stitch that I want to begin in. So here is the very first stitch of my single crochet edging, and that's where I will be attaching the yarn. So I like to just slip stitch right on into that. And tighten. Okay. Now into this same first stitch, I will be creating my first single crochet. So I'm not going to chain one, I just think it looks nicer at this point to go straight in, which I will be doing. So go straight on in, pull up your loop, and create that first single crochet. Right. Our next little portion is actually going to create one more hole for the corset strap to go into, so that there is a hole at the very, very, very top of your back so that it can pull, well, up there, you know, so that it fits its best. So go ahead and chain one, skip that next single crochet, and single crochet into the next. Right, so there will be our hole for our corset tie. Now into the next one, go ahead and create one more single crochet, and one more time into the next, create a single crochet. Right. Now I am going to be creating a hole again, but this particular hole is going to be for the strap. So essentially the strap is going to be coming from here, right? It'll be folded right? Because this is the back. So the strap will be here. It's going to be coming up and down and into this hole we're going to create. It'll be pulled through and then up. Right, that's how we're going to make it adjustable. So to make the hole for the strap, I like to chain 2, make sure that the hole will be big enough. And then I skip only 1 single crochet again, and into the next single crochet, create my single crochet. There's our little hole, and there is our bigger hole. Then go ahead and continue to single crochet into each single crochet until you reach the point at the top of your cup portion where you want to place your strap, right? So I will meet you right here. All right, I have done my single crochets up into the single crochet where I would like to place my strap. And to create the strap, we are just going to be chaining the length that we want. So you want, if you're making the adjustable strap with me, then you're going to want extra length on that strap because it's going to be curled under and then buttoned up around the back. So you want, you know, a pretty good amount of an extra amount that's going to be pulled up and around. So I am going to be chaining 44 is the number I normally like to do on this. It gives you quite a bit extra, which is fine. What you do not want is to make it too short. So, you know, just 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Chain until you have the length that you want. And I'm actually making 45 because I want 44 final stitches. So I will meet you when I have completed my 45 chains. All right, I made 45 chains. So that includes my single turning chain. And I will now complete the strap by going back down using a half double crochet. So yarning over, skipping that first stitch, and then like I showed you at the very beginning of this video, I like to go into that back bump of your chain so that the final result is going to look the most symmetrical, especially because we will be making another strap on the other side. It will look a little bit off if you go into the chain on the sides. So I definitely recommend going into that back bump instead. So skip that first stitch, right, into the second. Go ahead and do your half double, right? So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And I'll do another couple. Alright, and then continue this all the way down your entire chain until you are back at the bottom. I've completed my 44 half double crochet, so you can see I've made it back to my single crochets for my edging. Alright, to complete that strap, just going to find my next single crochet on my edging. So here was the last one that I went into before creating my chains. This is the one right next to it, and into that one I'll be creating my next single crochet. Okay. So we will now just continue to make our single crochet into each single crochet across. Okay. And I will be continuing that until I reach the spot on this side that I want my strap to be. Before doing that, I wanted to show you guys really quickly how the adjustable strap works so that you know what it is we're actually doing here. So I have turned my top over, right? So I was crocheting over here and I flipped it onto its other side. So folding over the back portion here. Here is the space that we made right here for the strap. So this strap that we just created is going to go ahead and insert into that hole. So do that. So you can see it's right here. Pull through. And after we have finished the straps, what I will be doing is sewing on a cute little button right here so that you can actually attach this portion with the button by pushing it through any of these half double crochet spaces that you want. So it can tighten, you know, all the way up if you need it to this front. Be a nice, small, tiny little strap. Or you can lengthen it till the end here, have a much longer strap. So this way your strap is nice and adjustable, so whoever it is that's going to be wearing it can adjust it to fit them. Or if your yarn ends up stretching out on you more than you thought it would, and you can always tighten the strap up a little bit. No worries. Okay. I've made it down and up to the point where I would like to place my second strap here. So just like the first strap, I will go ahead and chain 45, turn, and then make 44 half double crochet back down until I reach this point. Okay, so I will meet you back here once I have completed my second strap. I've completed my 44 half double crochet for my second strap. So here is the single crochet I began my chains out of. So into the very next single crochet, I will place my single crochet. And now my strap is nicely anchored. Go ahead and continue your single crochets all the way across. And when you have, oh, hi Julian. When you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stop when you have 6 remaining stitches. So that is that's going to include that slip stitch that I made into that final chain here. Okay, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets and then that 1 slip stitch. Okay, so single crochet until you reach that spot. All right, I have made my single crochet all the way across until I have those 6 stitches remaining. So now we are going to repeat what we did at the very beginning, where we have this hole for the strap, right? And then a final hole for the chain tie for the corset back. So to create the hole for the strap, we will chain 2, skip that next stitch, and into the next one, place a single crochet. Now make 2 more single crochet. Okay. You should have these 2 stitches remaining. So to create our final hole, create your chain 1, skip the next stitch, and into the very final stitch, make 1 last single crochet. All right, and you can see how clean that edge actually ends up once I weave in my end. All right, and go ahead and cut and tie your yarn. Here is our bralette with our straps. We only have 2 more things to do. So I'm going to turn my top over, fold my little back pieces into the top. You can weave in your ends at this point so that they're not all messy and in the way like this, but I actually generally like to wait till I am absolutely positive that the top fits how I want it to, because once you've woven those ends in, they're pretty much impossible to find, so that you can frog and fix anything you didn't like. So my personal recommendation is actually to go ahead and wait on that like I'm doing, but it does look a little bit messy right now. All right, so you fold that over and then go ahead and pull your straps through their holes. Oh, here's this hole. And the second hole is here. All right. And we need to now make our tie for the corset back. So you can really use anything you want. I like to go ahead and just make a very, very long chain using the remaining yarn that I have. That way it matches and it's cute and cozy. So I am actually going to be chaining 200 total chains. It does make a pretty long chain in the end. You may end up wanting to take some out once you've tied it, but it's better to make it, again, longer rather than shorter, because you can always take some out, whereas if you cut it too early, you really don't want to have to add. All right, so I will go ahead and just make my long chain, and then I will show you what it looks like. All right, I have created my chain and woven it through. I went ahead and woven my ends as well so that you guys can see it better. You can see that this is a nice and long chain, so it's quite generous in length. You could definitely make it shorter and it would still fit just fine. And then here is the lacing. Right. So all that remains to do is to sew your button onto your straps. So if you don't know how to sew buttons on, I suggest just Googling. For mine has, how many holes does mine have? All right, mine has, you can see, 4 total holes. So I just searched for how to sew a 4-hole button. Sometimes they have 2 holes, and then I search for that and basically just follow what they say to do. So I will sew on my buttons and meet you back. All right, here are my sewn buttons. So you can see that I can undo it if I want. Just push it right out, right? And pull it to any length I want, really. And you just push it right back through one of your holes that you made. Well, not that you made, but that just sort of automatically exist between your half double crochet posts, right? And there you go. For the placement of these straps on the back portion, we made those holes. I had you do 3 stitches after that hole for your side tie. You may end up wanting to actually move the straps in a little bit further depending on your body. So if you want to do that, you just make that chain 2 single crochet space sooner. So maybe you would only do 1 single crochet instead of 2, and then you'd make it. Or you could even make it the exact same space as your hole for your corset tie. So what you would do is you would make that very first single crochet, chain 2 instead of 1, and then make the next single crochets, and then you'd have to, squeeze your strap through here along with the little bit of the tie that would also be entered into that exact same spot. It's a little bit tight, but it totally fits, and it's not a problem at all once you've pushed it through. Okay, so those would be how you would make your alterations. All right. So I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and found it simple enough to follow. Please absolutely show me your final projects if you do make one. I would absolutely love to see it, so I will link my Instagram, yep, below in the description box so that you can see where to tag me. All right, so thank you so much for watching my video, and I really hope you enjoyed it.